Why the hell am I Emery? Hello? Hello, what happened? I don't know what that was. Okay, now I can't. Hold on. Hold on. There's a glitch in the system. That was a jump scare for me too. I don't know what happened. I think I may have pressed the wrong setting while I was preparing for stream. And now I have horns and I can't get rid of them. Okay. There we go. Hi, everybody. I don't know what just happened there. Yes, we've resumed back to normal. Everything is fine. Milo is in the other room. She has begun screaming spontaneously. Literally as soon as I pressed the live button, she started yelling, Milo! What? Ooh. Milo, I think Polly wants to play. You not want to go play? You not want to play? Well, I am streaming now. Play with Molly. She wants to play with you. She just ran at you. Yeah, typical cat behavior for real. Alright, well, anyway, happy Wednesday stream, everybody. It is time to draw what will maybe end up being the last drawing of, for my November video. I might sneak in a Larry at the end. We'll see. I will probably not stream the Larry art, though, is the thing. Because Larry's a pretty simple design. And I can't really even talk that much about Larry. Because it's spoilers. But for now, we are drawing Felix, and I set aside an entire stream just for her because her design is complicated. And she will probably take me the entire stream to draw. I have to draw so many skirts. She is my floofy little baby girl and I love her. She floomfy. She floomfy. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna stream my Larry drawing. Larry is gonna be like Storm, where Larry's outfit is very simplistic, and so Larry themselves will probably not take me an entire stream to draw. We'll see. I haven't even finished scripting my November video, and I really need to do that because now the sponsor is bothering me, being like, hey, have you made any more progress on the script? And I have to tell him, like, I mean, I have, but not the segment that you want to see. So I will need to work on that probably this weekend, except Saturday is usually the day I have marked as my day off, so I'll probably have to do it on Sunday. You ever just have too many things to do? I always do the sponsor bit last, priorities. Yes, hi Zoe, you get it. And I always do the same. Like, usually I do the sponsor bit second to last, and usually the last thing I'm doing, like my last little scramble, is the comic promos at the end of my videos. Because usually those end up taking a really long time because I have to, you know, go in and read an entire webcomic as part of it. So, hold on, is there a bot that I'm not seeing? Hang on one second. Blech. Alrighty. Anyway, Dungeons and Dragons characters. But yeah, so Felix is a fun one. Felix is actually... She's not the very first D&D character I ever made. But she was the one that I ever got, like... very into. She was the first one I got into enough that she had her own playlist. We'll put it that way. But yeah, I was very... Okay, so how it started was I came up with Felix, and I really loved the story idea that I had laid out for her. And I played her in, like, a two-shot. It's like a one-shot, but we ended up playing it over 2 sessions. And I really, really enjoyed her character, but there were, like, no campaigns on the horizon that I'd be able to play in. And so I just kept spinning her around in my brain and just thinking, she's my precious baby. She's so cute. Felix is a bard, by the way. Tiefling glamour bard, for if that scans anything to y'all. And she's just a big sweetie, and I love her. She's precious angel baby. But yeah, and so I spun her around in my head for a really long time, but Felix's plotline is that she is one of my fun little amnesia characters. Basically, she almost got killed by a monster, and then in the act of getting rescued from the monster, she hit her head real hard, does not remember anything. And so she was, like, separated from her family, doesn't remember anything about where she came from, and, like, part of her story is, like, trying to find her way back to where she came from. Like, several years later. And so I was spinning that idea around in my head, and then I was like, well, who's her family? Because she obviously, like, she has a family. I know she does. She must. What's their deal? And then I started spinning that idea around in my head. I took a couple of aspects that were originally from Felix's story, stuck them into Zephyr, and now there's 2 sad babies. It's like a whole thing. Molly, please do not claw up my ottoman. Hey, stop it. You have so many scratching posts. He's like, I can't lay on the cushy footrest until I stick my claws in it approximately 12 times. You design her family, including the parents. Well, so Felix has a sibling and she has a mom. Her dad is not in the picture. And I have designed the sibling already because it's Zephyr. I have not worked on the design for the mom yet, but I have a couple of, like, basic things about her. Try not to write side character challenge star. Listen. Now. I have to make sad characters because I have to channel all of my latent sadness into little guys that I can put into situations and live vicariously through them. Do you see? Do you see what I mean? Do you see? This is Zephyr's sister. Yeah, it's Felix! Baby! Who is the saddest tiefling? Of all the ones I have, it's Verity. Verity not only has the guilt of several dead friends on her shoulders, she also has the guilt of, like, several planets worth of people that died because of her through no direct action of her own, but as a result of her death and the immediate actions that followed. I'm not gonna go into exactly how that works out, but don't worry about it. Listen, I've talked about how Verity was brought back to life and using some weird magic. There were some consequences that I haven't really talked about. There's some consequences to the specific way that she was resurrected. That she did not find out until kind of the second arc of the campaign and is still largely dealing with. But I'm not going to go too into it now because that is going to get covered in part 2 of whatever form the D&D story takes after the D&D video is done. Probably something written and then eventually a video when I have time. And the strength. Because the D&D video may kill me. I may finish it and then need to be lowered into my grave for 6 to 12 months. Wasn't Emery the resurrected one? Verity is the one who straight up died and got resurrected. Emery was the one who got body snatched, and then figured out how to come back for revenge in somebody else's body. I like girls who've been through some shit. And Lapis is also a girly pop who's been through some shit. Basically all my characters are sad girls who've been through shit. Although I suppose you could say that Emery is more of an angry girl that's been through some shit. She just channels her emotions in a different way, and we love that for her. We love a girly pop who's allowed to get pissed. There was an Emery and Felix siblings AU, Emery would be the protective one. I mean, Emery kind of is the protective one. She is the... No one knows how this happens, it baffles scientists, but she has somehow become the mom friend of the party. Just because she is so very protective. She's very Ariana coded, but she has not had quite as much time. She's like less... She has had less time to dwell on her nonsense than Ariana has. And her stuff is a little bit more immediately actionable, we'll say. Suddenly very worried for that party. Yeah, it's a bit like having Sasuke as your mom friend. Which is a line from the November video that I wrote and then had to stop because I was laughing so hard. And I'm like, yeah, that's staying in. That's staying in. Imagine having fucking Sasuke as your mom friend, and that's basically what Emery is. Ariana is my brother died and I'm mad about it, and Emery is I died and I'm mad about it. It's very funny. But we love it. Felix, my sweet angel baby girl. She's just so cute. So fun fact, Felix's original design, when I was just like brainstorming characters, she was originally going to be a lot creepier. And then over the course of the design process, oops, accidenta made a pink cutie patootie. This keeps happening to me. I just love babies. I just love to draw silly babies. Oh! Completely unrelated. Completely unrelated, but I did have some conversation topics for the stream. First and most prevalent being, hey guys, guess what? Chapter 12 is done. I finished it. I finished it today. Wow! So guess who's now 20 pages ahead of her buffer? Yeah, new pages up or not. No, they're still gonna come out at their usual rate. I'm just very far ahead because it helps take some of the stress off my plate. But yeah, so chapter 12 is finished being drawn, and it will be done for patrons in, okay, so Patreon is like 8 or 9 pages-ish ahead of what's being posted on the main site. So chapter 12 will be completely posted for patrons by the end of November, and it will be finished for the website, by the end of December. Like, right before New Year's, the chapter will wrap up for, non-Patreon members. That's what I forgot to do. I forgot to put the pages on Tapas. Write that down. Okay. Because, you know, like, when I schedule pages, I have to schedule a bunch of stuff all at the same time. And something always slips through the cracks. And this time it was adding the new Tapas pages. I will do it either after the stream or tomorrow. Depending on how tired I am when this is done. Cries and Tapas reader. Listen, I'm gonna do it! I'm gonna do it, I promise! I will do it after the stream. I guess I also need to schedule Webtoon updates too, but I care less about Webtoon because Webtoon isn't paying me. Webtoon readers can get the updates when I feel like it. I basically only post on Webtoon anymore, because I do have, you know, a handful of readers that still read it on there. And also so I can advertise. I post there like at the beginning of every month, and I have that update schedule on Webtoon very specifically to advertise new mail clubs. Because if I post it at the beginning of the month, then I can also post about the new mail club set, and hopefully try and drag some people over to the Patreon. But aside from that, I do not really bother with Webtoon. Webtoon sucks ass. And if they want to fight about it, they can meet me behind the Denny's and square it the fuck up. They stopped paying me, and they treat their artists terribly, and I will not be trifling with them anymore. Except specifically to try and convince the readers I have gathered over there to read the comics somewhere else. One of the main reasons I still use Webtoon is because the kids these days in this generation, it seems like the younger generation of folks just don't know that webcomics exist outside of Webtoon. And it's very frustrating. Starlet 3 planners don't suffer fools. Hello, Jay! Thank you for coming to my live stream specifically to bully me about my 3 planners. Fuck you in particular, by the way. Get the fuck out. Honestly. So rude. I thought webcomics were just uploaded on YouTube or Twitter. Where are you reading webcomics on YouTube? A lot of webcomics, most of the webcomics I read, have their own websites. And see, this is why I'm trying desperately to educate people. Trying desperately to educate people. It's like, no, webcomics are not just a Webtoon thing. Webtoon is like the fucking brand name that's coming in, seeing the years and years of work that people have put into putting comics on the internet for free, and this massive community that's been built up of artists and writers and people who care about telling stories, and being like, hey, I bet we can make money on that and pay our creators terribly in exchange for a scrap of marketing for them, and then if their series does not perform the way we want it to, we will just cancel it, and then those creators will lose the rights to ever finish their series. But it's fine because we're Webtoon and everyone loves us. No, I'm not bitter. Don't give Webtoon your eyes if you don't have to. Read Cast Off on its own website. Or on Tapas or whatever. Tapas also has its problems, but they at least are still paying me, so. And the people that I talk to specifically on Webtoon are very nice and appreciate the memes I make. So when Tapas invited me to do the early access program, which is, for the record, Cast Off is not in any way, shape, or form beholden to Tapas. Literally, it's just an invite-only revenue share program that I'm in with Tapas. But I do have a person who's like my main go-between, and they're very nice. And when I made the announcement on Webtoon saying, hey, I'm not going to be updating as often here anymore, You can read the comic on Tapas because they're still paying me, and then posted a link to the comic on Tapas. I made that meme where it's like, it's the meme of the two guys like shaking hands, and it's got like word art all over it, where it's like, Webtoon, no longer friends with Webtoon, Tapas is my new best friend. And when I posted that on Webtoon in my social media, my Tapas person messaged me over Slack and was like, by the way, I laughed really hard and showed this to everybody in the office. And I was like, yay! Friendship ended. Yes, friendship ended with Webtoon. Now Tapas is my best friend. Tapas is my best friend, but my own personal website is my one true love. You know, because my website is the one that I am truly beholden to. I love my website because I can do whatever the hell I want with it. Although I did have a bit of a skerfuffle today that I would be more frustrated about, but thankfully the problem has already been resolved. By the way, because there's been a new influx of people on Blue Sky, I did go ahead and just put the link to my Blue Sky account pinned at the top of the chat, just for shits and giggles. Just because it's like, hey, a bunch of new people have Blue Sky accounts. I too have a Blue Sky account, and honestly, it's my most used social media right now. I love to scream over there. But yeah, so I did talk about the skerfuffling over there, where, so I use Discus for my comment system on my website, but Discus has this thing where sometimes they'll just put ads on your website. Sometimes they're just like, hey, you have a website? Hey, you get a lot of visitors on that website? Hey, you use us to supply your comments on that website? Cool. We're just gonna start putting some ads down in the comment section of your website. And you don't actually get to see any of that money. That's just for us. And you can't turn it off unless you pay us $150 a month. So that happened today. However, there is a very specific loophole. Yeah, it was so fucked though, because they have multiple plans. The lowest plan is like, it totals up to like $18 a month. $18 a month to get ads not to show up in your Discus comments. And first of all, that is like one of the most expensive monthly subscriptions of anything that I use. That is wildly overpriced for what it is. But the thing is, I apparently can't even use the lowest one. I can't even use the cheapest paid plan because of how many page views my website gets. The rule is like, if you get an average of over 350,000 page views per month, they gray out the lowest paid option, paid subscription option on Discus. You can't even get the lowest subscription. They bump you up from the one that's like the basic plan, which is like $15 a month, to the medium plan, which is $150 per month for a comment system on a website. It's wild. However, thankfully, they don't make this easy to find, but thankfully, there is there's a loophole. And I remembered this loophole because this was a big skerfuffle that happened when Discus first started doing this a few years ago. A lot of really big webcomic artists all got hit with ads. It's like they ran over the threshold and then they suddenly started having these gross clickbaity, bullshit ads showing up on their websites. But the loophole is that if your website is a personal blog, an EDU website, or a nonprofit, you can qualify to get the pro plan for free, and that will get the that will get the ads taken off your website. And since Castoff is not an e-commerce platform and it's basically just a personal site, I don't earn any income directly through the Webcomic website. All of the income I earn on Castoff comes through the Patreon and ebook sales and stuff like that, so I don't actually earn any income directly through the website. So the website, I can still say, is a personal website. And so, while I couldn't get it taken off there of my own accord, I did send them a very grumpy email that was like, excuse me, why the fuck did y'all start putting ads on my website? It's a personal website. Take them off or I will be nuking this comment system from my website. And to their credit, they did respond back within like an hour. And they took them off for me. But that was some bullshit I did not need today. And it also kind of shows how traumatized I was by the whole Discord debacle, that I was like pleasantly surprised by how quickly the issue was taken care of. I was like, oh my god, they not only got back to me in the same day, but in their first response, they actually fixed the problem? My god. I didn't even know that this was possible. I got so used to Discord and all their red tape and bullshit and taking 3 months to solve a problem that could be taken care of in 5 seconds. What a concept! Anyway, are there any other commenting platforms? They're just not as good and not as, like, commonly used. I mean, at that point, I almost would have just taken comments off the Castoff website at all. Like, completely. I did not want to do that, but I feel like that's better than having fucking stupid-ass ads taking up, like, the entire page when you scroll down. I would not have been happy with that. Y'all, I don't think, would have been happy with that, but I think that would have been preferable to having stupid... You won't believe what happened to this toilet! And it shows a picture of, like, a tank. Like a military tank. Trying to get you to click on it and show you some stupid article. I think that would have been preferable. To just not see that at all. And then you guys can just comment on the Discord or whatever. But thankfully, the problem got solved very quickly. So you guys should not see any more stupid ads in the comment section for Castoff. And hopefully, it will freaking stay that way. Or I will be forced to commit numerous crimes. You hear that, Discus? I'm keeping my freaking eye on you. So that's what I dealt with today. I hope you guys had a slightly better day. This day was really just like ups and downs for me personally. Lots of good stuff happened. I finished chapter 12. I had a nice call with my mom earlier, and there was just some funny shit that happened that we were talking about. The discus issue, but then there was also like the discus issue. But the good news is the discus issue got taken care of within like 2 hours, and that was really nice. That it just, you know, a problem got taken care of and then it's not an issue anymore. And then it was just like riding that high of nice feelings for the day. And then you ever just see the wrong thing on social media and it just throws off your mood really bad? Because that happened to me about an hour before stream, and I was just like, no, God, Bleh. Ugh. I saw something politics related and it pissed me off. We'll leave it at that. How are we doing, fellow Americans? Please vote. I can't do this again. I'm normal, I'm so fine and normal. Everything is good and fine. Anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about on my live stream. The ads are under the comments, but I can still see them. Yeah, I have to figure out exactly how to nuke those. Because they don't show up for me. They don't show up when I'm looking at the site, even though I have my ad blocker turned off. Oh, now I see them. Fucking get that shit out of here. I'll screw with the settings after the stream. Because they should not be showing up at all. Hell. Anyway, abruptly changing topics because the goal is not to get people stressed out. The goal here is to have a nice fun time. A nice fun time. Oh, just as a potential change of subject and just something that I wanted to say at some point during the stream. Yeah, so about Goku. Yeah, how about Goku? Oh, NSVR, thank you for the super chat. Becky, you gonna read it?
Obligatory don't know per stream. Love you, Star. Also, question. How would you write an artificial intelligence to show humane traits?
NSVR, thank you for the super chat. That's a good question. I mean, okay, so if we're talking about humane traits in general, I think that does not just apply to an artificial intelligence as a character. That also applies to just like any person. How do you get people to care about like someone who can be seen as inhuman and unempathetic? I would highly recommend researching what a save the cat moment is. Because it kind of sounds like that's what you need more than anything. You need to give your AI, like your fictional artificial intelligence character, literally what you said, like a humane moment. Show them like doing their thing, but then they take the time to save a cat from a busy street. And then the audience can see like, oh, dang, they're actually nice. That's cool. It's literally called a save the cat moment in writing and screenwriting and stuff. So I would recommend researching that because that seems like a good foothold for what you're trying to work on. But yeah, so as far as what I was going to say, so I talked last time about how I set up a throne wish list, and a bunch of folks did end up getting stuff off of it, and I really do appreciate that very much. The one thing is that last time I didn't have the alerts on my stream properly set up because I didn't think people were gonna jump on it so quickly. I did not think people were going to jump on it quite as quickly as they did. And so I didn't have stream alerts set up. But now I do. So if anybody buys anything off my throne wish list, there should be a little dinkle dinkle that goes off and shows up on the stream. So that should work now. This is not encouragement to go and do that now. I am just pointing out that I have changed it, so now if anyone does feel like so inclined and is so nice, you will actually get like a little jingle that goes off. I set it to play a Legend of Zelda sound effect. Sounds like a challenge. It's not a challenge. I am simply stating that that is a thing that will happen now. I'm encouraged by that, aren't you, chat? No, do not be encouraged by that. This is not me being tsundere. This is literally just me saying, this is not me trying to encourage donations or whatever. Spend your money on yourselves and have fun with it. I am just saying that last time the stream commands were not working, this time they are. And this is probably going to be the last time I ever talk about it. So anyway, Goku. How many hours do you spend drawing every day? Honestly, not as many as you'd think. This is kind of an interesting topic Because you would think that someone who is a full-time artist like myself... Oh! MedMap, thank you for the super chat! Vector, you gonna read it?
I just want to make Vector say something silly, so... Rubber baby buggy bumpers.
Thank you for the super chat. Yes, Vector, that is very silly. Good job, my son. Pat, pat. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah. So for someone who literally does art for a living, I don't actually get to draw as much as you would think. I drew quite a bit today because my job for the day was... my job for the day...
Take care of yourself. Me, how about no?
And SVR, thank you for the super chat and also the scathing call out. Listen. I have 4 jobs in a trench coat, all right? Listen. Listen. It's hard. But yeah, so you'd be surprised at how much of this job is just doing like admin bullshit. Answering emails, packing shop orders, scheduling social media posts, editing videos. Like, okay. You guys are going to automatically jump to a conclusion when I say this, and the conclusion is wrong. Because the conclusion is you're going to hear me complaining about how I have a webcomic and how because I have a webcomic, I don't have a lot of time to draw other things. And you're going to jump to the conclusion that that means I don't like doing my webcomic. This is not correct. I love my webcomic. It just takes a lot of time. But I will sometimes see like artists on like the internet, artists on social media, artists on YouTube and such, who have time to draw just like so much cool stuff, and they're making new merch constantly, and they're drawing new cool things constantly. And I get a little jealous because I'm like, how do you have that much time to draw? That's not fair. How do you have so much time to draw all these cool things? Like, how are you knocking out finished pieces so quickly? I wish I had that kind of time. And then I remember that I have a webcomic and they don't. And then it's like, oh, that's how you have so much time to draw. And then I just go back to drawing my webcomic. Again, I love my webcomic. I love that I get to draw my silly little blorbos as my job, and it's literally how I pay my bills. I think that is extremely cool, and I love that that fact is true. However, sometimes you just really, really, really want to draw your D&D blorbos, and you can't because you have to draw your other blorbos first, and you're just like, ugh! You know? Anyway, I've been trying to finish one of my sketchbooks recently. I'm very close to finishing what I've been calling my sad girl sketchbook, because I used it as a sketchbook / diary for a couple weeks. I ended up taking out a lot of the pages with my sad girl thoughts on them once I got a proper journal to write them in. But the point of order is that I'm very close to being done with that sketchbook, and so I've just been trying to fill it with blorbo draws. And I'm specifically benefiting. Yes, I just send all of my all my D&D blorbo drawings to Jay, and then he goes, "Yay!" And then I go back to drawing. But yes, once I am done with the once I'm done with my Moleskine sketchbook, I want to do a sketchbook tour video where I also talk about my new stationery addiction. And then maybe also use it as a ground zero to talk about my new, planner addiction. It's gonna be a weird video. I might break it into 2 just to make it a little bit easier to parse, because it kind of is a journey of several things. But that will probably not be until next year because I am tired.
Last and biggest Jono until payday. I appreciate you taking the time out of the stream to help with writing problems. You're one of the best YouTubers I've come across in almost a decade.
Aw, NSVR, thank you for the super chat. That's so nice. I'm glad I could help, and I hope that your writing goes well. Thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate it. planner girly YouTube channel coming soon. No, absolutely not. Like, I'll probably show, like, some stuff for my planners on, like, social media, but I'm not gonna turn into, I just talk about planners and post my cute spreads on the internet type of person. Mostly because I'm not planning on doing anything that involved or pretty with them. My planner is mostly functional. Because as someone who is chronically ADHD, I need something like that to keep me organized. But I did buy some cute stickers to put in there. Yippee. I mean, it's a lot of, hey, I think this is true about the Blorbo, and then we back and forth for about an hour and make something unhinged that you need to draw. Yeah, but I mean, sometimes it's not even that complicated. Sometimes you literally just send me, it's like, hey, wouldn't it be funny if this thing happened? And I'm like, welp, and I scoot away from my desk and I go and lay in bed with my sketchbook and I spend 45 minutes drawing that. That's what happened yesterday, and that's why that drawing of Mira and the gang exists. What kind of planner did you get? I have, okay, so I technically have 2 Hobonichis for next year, but I'm planning on only using the cousin as my, like, proper functional planner. I bought the smaller A6 size first and then figured that it probably isn't actually... I liked the idea of having a little pocket notebook to use as a planner, but then I decided that the A6 was too small once I had already bought it and couldn't return it. And then I got the cousin, which is the larger A5 size, and so that one I think is going to be my actual, like, proper planner that I use to keep all my stuff organized. And then I'm gonna use the smaller A6 one maybe as, like, a world-building idea journal thing for this story I'm working on. Does Star maybe have a Discord server I could join looking to expand my horizons? I do! It is not linked on my YouTube, but if you are familiar with my works, it's not hard to find. This is me saying that it's on the page for my webcomic, because the server is specifically for my webcomic and for readers of my webcomic, so I don't link to it on YouTube anywhere. But we do have channels for, like, writing assistants and stuff, just because a lot of folks who come in are also artists, so, you know. It's like, you're allowed in the server if you don't read the comic, but you will have a better time if you read the comic and are familiar with it, you know? So. It is primarily, first and foremost, catered to people who are familiar with my comic, so. Just bear that in mind. And make sure that if you're joining the Discord, make sure to read the rules, because we are a bunch of hard asses over there, and we will ban people if they cause issues. All that to say, I like planners. So, I've actually kind of sort of already started using the cousin planner. Because, you know, it starts in December and I pre-plan my, like, social media posts so far out that I actually, like, already had things that I could post on there. Or I already had, like, stuff that I could make. I made custom stickers for my D&D characters so that I could post those on days when we were going to have D&D sessions. Here, I can pull up the picture really quick. Because I posted in the chat room the other day. The image. And... So, okay, so this is my new Hobonichi planner, and this is a spread from it. I did this for December, and so you can see I made these, like, little custom stickers. They're color-coded based on what type. These are, like, my content planning stickers. And I got some removable sticker paper so that I can, like, if I decide, oh, wait, I need to post something else this day, I can just peel up the sticker and post it somewhere else. And so I have stickers for our D&D sessions. And then I have some for like my comic promos. I used washi tape to block out like the previous months because otherwise I would have actually, these are like, so this is the month for December, but these are technically days for November. So I just used some washi tape to block out the days that are not this month. So the month starts on the 1st. And so I had washi tape go and kind of block off those days, but then I can still actually, you know, write stuff. It's not shown in this image, but I also write down, like I have these little colored highlighters that I use to write in cast off updates. So like Monday, this page will go up on the Patreon, this page will go up on the website. And then on Friday, this page will go up on the Patreon, this page will go up on the website. And so I wrote that in. For my character development shorts that I've been posting every Monday, those don't have to be posted in a specific order, so I didn't bother with the custom stickers for those. I just wrote them in and highlighted them, but I did the pen first, and so the highlighter kind of smudged them. They'll look better on future months. Yeah, and then because I usually do my mail club time lapses 3 times a month, and then a video about the middle of the month, I made custom stickers for those. Organizing! Organizing. I love being organized. And see, like, the stickers still leave me plenty of room to write other things in my little monthly spreads. It's a very good for my brain, and then I can refer back to this and I can see, oh, I don't have a short planned for this day. That means that I could totally like put something, it's like, do I want to put something there or do I want to leave that spot blank? What do I want to do with that? And then I can see, oh, I've got a D&D session on this day. If I plan for a trip, I can just take a highlighter and just block out those specific days and write in there. This is so good for my brain. And this is just the monthly spread. I also have weekly spreads where I do similar things, but I haven't really messed with those too much. Because the weeklies don't go this far back. They don't go all the way back to the beginning of November. And there's also like the yearly indexes, which I might use for something, but I'm not sure what. And then they also, so one of the big reasons I wanted the Hobonichi ones is because it's also a daily journal. Like, you'll have a full page for every day of the year, and I have a whole list of things that I want to use for that. It's not just like me writing about my day. If I get nice fan art, I want to print it out and I want to paste it into my book. If I go to a convention, I want to use it to like mark out, hey, this is how much income I had and this is how many expenses I had for each convention, and put them in there. If a friend says something nice or silly or funny, I want to be able to put that in there. I have so many ideas, you guys. I literally made a board on Milanote with all my ideas for how I want to use the planner, and I'm so excited. Is it New Year's yet? Because this planner starts officially in January and I can't use it until January, but I want to use it. Anyway, so that's my planner nonsense. That's some more of that. But see, the planner rabbit hole, like this specific one, started. The catalyst for it was getting back into sketchbooking, because sketchbooking kind of was the butterfly effect that led me into getting into journaling, which then led me into going down this specific planner / journaling rabbit hole. And I've spent way too much money on art supplies in the last few months. So, yeah. Don't look at me like that. I will at some point be making a video where I talk about the whole shebang. Scare. Hopping in to tell you that my comics professor is playing one of yours in videos in class right now, and I immediately lost my mind because, oh my god, I know that guy. What? Which video is it? Which one? I need to know. And also, what school do you go to? NSVR, thank you for the gifted memberships. I appreciate it. Oh my goodness. If you just got gifted a membership, make sure to say thank you. Also, if you got gifted a membership, go check out some of the members only videos I have up on my page, because I have a couple of them. Yippee! Yeah, who's your comics professor? I need to harass them and be like, oh my god, are you showing my videos in class? The kids are gonna hear me swear. Oh, good golly. I try not to swear in my videos, but sometimes you just feel like you need to, because it doesn't hit the same if you don't. Sometimes you just need to drop a badass in a video because it doesn't sound as fun or good otherwise. I need to stop using what little money I have. Yes, you're fine. You don't need to donate anymore. I appreciate it, but you're good. You have done enough. I said it on my throne page, and I say it pretty frequently, but I will say it here as well. Please never feel obligated to spend money on me, you guys. Like, I genuinely so appreciate every single person who is willing to, like, you know, donate or join the Patreon or financially support me in any other kind of way. But for the record, you do not have to. I so appreciate the people who want to. And y'all are one of the reasons that I can continue doing this the way that I do. But honestly, it's like, never feel bad if you can't. Because I completely get it. Like, just you guys' eyes on my work and your nice comments and, like, being in stream and reading my webcomic, just that is enough. Like, seriously. You know? The 10 things webcomic creators should do video. I'm in a community college with a pretty solid art program. Oh, nice! Well, tell your professor I'm coming for them. Nah, I'm kidding. I've actually been thinking about making another one of those videos. But it would be like 10 do's and don'ts for webcomic creators, and it's just like 10 more tips. It's like, do this, don't do this, do this, don't do this. It's kind of a mix of both. So that's the idea rattling around in the noggin. But I don't know when I will get to it. Eventually, at some point. I do know that, the How to Webcomic books, I know that they were at least once. I'm not sure if this is still the case. But someone who was in the same graduating class as me, or maybe she was a year below, I'm not sure, teaches at SCAD now, the school that I went to, and actually taught a class about webcomics and used the How to Webcomic book as a textbook in that class. So, so that's officially a licensed textbook. I need to, like, bother the school and be like, hey, you wanna sell my books at the university bookstore? I'll wholesale y'all some copies. Hey, SCAD, do you think I'm cool yet? I'm a CEQA student at SCAD. I was not a CEQA student, but I took a couple of CEQA classes because I took storyboarding as a minor. And there was some crossover between the two disciplines. $5,000 book. No, absolutely not. I refuse to be one of those professors who writes a book, makes it required for class, and then the book is like several $100s. Absolutely not. Never. Never in your life. Because the whole goal of making a How to Webcomic was to make the information readily available and easily accessible. Because more people should make webcomics. And the easier that information is, the easier that help is to access, the lower the bar of entry gets for people to get into this hobby and get into making it. I want more people to have access to that information. I do charge for it because, you know, it's a lot of work that I put into it, but I try to keep the price as low as possible. Like the ebook, if you're okay with an ebook, it's like 10 bucks. It's really not that much. And it's like, you know, even if you can't afford the ebook, a lot of the tips from the book I put in my videos, you know? Like, for free. You know, I value my time and I do want to get paid for the effort I put in. which is why I don't just give away the ebook for free. But I will never be one of those people who charges gratuitous amounts of money for a book. Like, I was kind of like iffy on charging even that much for the ebook, but my friends were like, "Sorry, you put so much work into this. It took you like 2 years to write. Make it like $10 instead of $5." And I was like, but it's like, I value my work, but I'm not gonna get a big head about it, you know? Because the whole entire goal of making that book was to have the information accessible. And charging out the ass for a silly little book about making webcomics is not how we do things here. Dang it. The How to Webcomic book is basically just all the information I wish I knew when I started. And if it can help people avoid the same missteps that I made, then I have done my job. I'd also like to add that your stuff has helped me in my own webcomic journey to the point where I now have my entire first chapter thumbnailed. Hell yeah! Hell yeah! Like, genuinely, hearing that makes me so happy because that was, like, the goal, right? Is how many people out there are interested in making webcomics and just feel so overwhelmed because it's such a big thing to get into. And it's like, you feel like it takes so much research and everybody says something a little bit different. And I wanted to be the resource on the topic so that people would not feel so intimidated. I wanted people to have as easy a time getting into webcomics as possible to lower the bar of entry so that more people could get into it, because it has genuinely changed my life in such a positive way. Even if you don't pursue making comics professionally, making webcomics, making your stories, telling these stories and getting them out there, I feel like webcomics are a really good medium for it, and I want more people to be able to make them. Make webcomics! They're cool! You know? Ah! I'm less overwhelmed at the idea and more anxious about my lack of experience. Well, you know how you solve a problem with a lack of experience? You get experience. How do you get experience? You do the thing. Spoiler alert, you do not gain experience or more confidence by thinking about the thing really hard. You have to sit down and just do it. And it might be bad at first, but your first steps on this earth were probably not made with the same confidence as you would walk now. But you would not have started, you would not be able to walk as well as you do now if you had not started and taken those first shaky steps. As a wise dog once said in a silly little cartoon, being bad at something is the first step to being good at something. Be bad at the thing. For just a little bit. But the more you do it, the easier it gets. I'm learning to draw a few hours a day. It will probably take a year to become decent. But you know, with every drawing you do, your skills improve a little bit. Even if actual progress is not perfectly linear, no step is wasted, I would argue. It's kind of what I talked about at the end of my pet peeves video, where I talked about self-deprecation and why you should not do it ever. Art's like a garden, right? Because, like, yeah, sure, the first time you try to grow a plant, it might fucking die. You might overwater it, you might underwater it, and then it might die. And a lot of people, they get to that step and their plants die and they think, ah, shit, I'm not good at this. I may as well never do this again, because if I can't do it perfectly, then what's the point in doing it? And they give up. But you can't do that. Because the thing is that art takes time. Growing any skill takes time. And art takes time. It also takes missteps. I would argue that you should not succeed at something until you have failed it. I feel like a required step for succeeding at something should be failure. Because failure can teach you so much more. Failure fertilizes the garden and makes it easier for plants to grow there in the future. If you just give up after the first time your plants die, then that's just kind of a waste, isn't it? Like, you put in all that effort, and yeah, the plants died, but now they're fertilizer for whatever plants you grow next season. And it'll help it grow better, and you've learned a lot. You've learned, like, okay, that was too much water. Maybe I need to give them a little bit less water next time. And so now you're coming in with more improved skills, and the plants that died are now providing fertilizer and nutrients for your new plants. Art's the same way. Even if a drawing you make, even if you aren't satisfied with it, it still teaches you something. You stop and you think and you analyze what worked and you analyze what you're happy with and what you're not happy with, and you move forward with that knowledge, and that is how you improve. You know? The first step to being good at something is being bad at something. So go out there and be bad at something and enjoy it and genuinely have fun with it. Like my sketchbooks, I literally just, I go in with the mindset of this art will be bad, but as long as I am having fun, then I will improve. That is literally the mindset I take to my sketchbooks, and it's legitimately so freeing. If you don't have to worry about making something good, you're just making something that you're having fun with, and you're making something that you know you're going to learn something from. Don't rush yourself. Take the time you need. And just take those little messy steps forward, you know? You will never improve by just thinking about something. You gotta do it. You gotta do it. Well, now I just want to start a garden. Grow me some zucchinis and come back next week. I want to see your plants. I keep thinking that I want to start a garden, and then I'm like, oh no, actually I don't have enough patience for that, and I don't like going outside. And so I'm like, eh. I want to have a garden, but I don't want to bother with like the maintenance of it. It takes a lot of work, and it's not that important to me. And I'm just like, eh, I'll focus on other things, perhaps. Anyway, how'd you guys like the random motivational TED Talk midstream? I do this way too often. This is why I started a YouTube channel, so I can yell at people.
What an inspiring speech. This deserves one last super. Also, as much as I'd love to start a webcomic, I ain't an artist. I'm unfortunately a writer.
NSVR, thank you for the super chat. I totally get it, and I know it does seem hard, but like, if you're not interested in I would always recommend trying to do the art yourself at first, but if you're just like not really interested in the art aspect, hiring an artist is a good way to go. Finding someone that you work with well and that you can collaborate with well works. But you know, also, like, I'm a webcomic creator, but I want to get more into like actually writing. Like, I write for my webcomic, but I want to get back into, like, prose. I want to write a novella. I want to write novels. I want to write, like, an anthology series, because I want a place for my D&D blorbos to live. And so that's maybe something I'm going to work on during my, my break that's coming up here soon. I want to take the month of December and part of January off, ideally. And I want to use that to maybe try and start doing some writing. Just write some little bits. Some little snippets. Writing is a skill in and of itself as well. So don't beat yourself down just because, oh, I'm a writer, I'm not an artist. Writing's hard too. Writing is also a skill. Don't feel bad about, oh, I'm just a writer. No, writing is hard. As someone who does both, writing is also very hard. There should be an amount of respect for both sides, because they both take a lot of skill. They both take a lot of work to harness. And webcomic people are powerful because they often have to do both. Yippee, you know? Writing is harder. Gratuitously disagree. It is hard. I would say that drawing is much harder. Personally, as someone who does both, that is my personal opinion. You're more than welcome to disagree with me, but I would absolutely argue that drawing is more difficult. But we're not gonna use this as an opportunity to start a fight in my chat, are we? No, we're not. That was not an invitation to start a fight in my chat. Delete whatever you just typed. Delete it. Put it back. You're allowed to have your own opinions, but we're not going to start a fight about it, all right? All right, cool. Thank you. No, that was not targeted at anyone specifically. That was just me saying, it's like, yes, okay, I sensed heat on the wind. Like I say to my family when they're hanging out in my house and I feel like a conversation about politics is about to start, I say, I'm sensing some heat. I can feel the heat on the wind, and we're not gonna do this in my living room. I'm sensing heat on the wind, and so we're gonna turn it off now, is what I was getting at. They're both hard. Sit down. I keep forgetting that this song is in my playlist. I put it in there because I thought it was a cool jam that just like came up in my Spotify recommendeds. And I keep getting I keep remembering every time it comes up. It's like, oh yeah, this is a Homestuck song, isn't it? I have no feeling. That does not change my opinion on the song. It still slaps. It's just funny. I don't know a damn thing about Homestuck except that someone on YouTube once told me that I sound like I used to do Homestuck. They told me that I had the voice of someone who does Homestuck fan dubs. And I'm gonna be honest, chat, that affected me in a kind of way that's hard to describe. That gave me a cocktail of emotions that is hard to put words to.
Star, you're a big inspiration for me as someone who is trying to become a full-time artist. Seeing you do what you do gives me hope. THC, I can do the same.
Star Studio, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. I hope that you can as well. Good luck to you. It's very difficult, but if you have the right mindset about it with the right combination of skill, determination, and luck, you can make it work. Godspeed. That is the wrong layer. There. What's Homestuck even about? Some say that Homestuck has a plot, but no one truly knows what it is. That's a joke. I tried reading it when it was like at the height of its popularity because a lot of my friends in college were super into it. I tried. I couldn't get past the first part. It was just so long, and there was like no interesting hook to really keep me going. It's so long. It's so long. I'm just like, I don't think that this is for me. In some alternate universe out there, there is a star who got very into Homestuck just like all of my college friends did. But for now, I'm just like, I don't think this is for me. I know enough about Homestuck to understand a few of the memes that I keep seeing. Purely that I picked up through just the background radiation of being on the internet at the time that it was popular. And also, apparently, I have the voice of someone who does Homestuck comic fan dubs, which makes me feel a certain kind of way. Also, someone else in the comments of a recent video did tell me that I am now their headcanon Vriska voice. Like, when they read her words, they say that it sounds like me, and I'm like, I guess that's cool, but isn't she the one that everyone doesn't like? I'm indifferent to this personally. But that's kind of cool. The fact that people have me as like a character's headcanon voice, that's kind of neat and flattering in a way. Is that a compliment? I hope so. I hope it is. But yeah. Felix, my baby, my darling, my sweet little angel. I love her so much. She's so cute. Fun fact, so I keep talking about how I love my D&D blurbos very much. Several of them have actually appeared in Cast Off. I had to do, like, humanized versions of them because tieflings do not exist in the Cast Off universe. But I did do that. I did sneak a few babies into the comic. Fun fact. Start with the VA career on top of the full-time artist gig. I mean, I think that would be fun. I do really like acting, and y'all are gonna see some of my voice acting chops when the D&D video comes out. There's a part at the end where I will have to do some very dramatic scream crying, and I've technically already recorded it, but I feel like I need to go back and give it more. Because I'm like, I could do better than this. I practice my dramatic scream crying when I'm alone in the car. And I worry that people are going to see/hear me when I'm doing it. Because I am capable of doing some very big yells if I'm so inclined and motivated. So, if you guys want to hear me do some stuff, watch the D&D video when it comes out. That's all I will say. There may or may not be some very dramatic and intense Verity scream crying towards the end of the video that I am very excited to record. I get to do Sad Rodin a lot. Oh yes. There's gonna be some feelings, some emotions in that video. Oh boy. Hey Jay, speaking of, when you gonna finish that monologue at the end of the video for me, huh? Huh? We need to do that for me. Hey. Huh? Hey, hey. Hey, hey. I need that. Eventually. It's so intimidating. It's like, come on, I already wrote something for it. I already wrote it, you just have to rewrite it. I made it up on the spot while we played it. Yeah, and so I took it and I wrote a thing for it, but you said that you wanted to rewrite it, so you're gonna do it or not. This is a call-out post. Just working myself up about it. Do you need me to come bully you in the DMs? And be like, hey, because I've kind of been doing that for a while. Like, hey, Jay, where's my monologue? Where's my monologue? I gotta convey how guilty it is about leaving Verity in the woods. He's so sad. Well then get sad and write me a paragraph. Get in your feelings. Personally, I love writing sad feelings, so can't relate, but I do just tease, but I am gonna need that eventually. I don't think I can have the video finished by the end of the year, but by golly, I would love it to come out in Q1 of next year at the latest. At this point, I just need it to be done. I just need it to be done, and I need to not have to think about it anymore. Because I've been working on this dang D&D video since March! March! That's too long to be working on a single video. Who do I think I am? H-Bomber guy? Jeez! I could never be one of those YouTubers that makes like one video a year and it's 4 hours long. I'm dying just doing this one. But I guess I'm also doing 1,000 other things on top of it. And if I had time to just work on the D&D video, I would have been done with it months ago. But alas, I have a webcomic and a YouTube channel that I update once a month. I have other things is the thing. I have too many bees in my brain. Anyway, I think I'm done inking Felix. Look at my sweet baby girl. He's pink. And people like me to manage, yeah. To kick your ass. Standing over you menacingly with a hammer. Being like, hey Jay, where's my edits? Punch his fist menacingly. Ugh. Turn the background layer off so it's easier to see where I have and have not colored. Look at my little pink baby. I've called Felix my bubblegum pink tiefling for a very long time. She's just so cute and pink and I love her. She's pink. My baby. I want to make a story that you guys about this character and like all of my D&D characters that I love so much that you guys can actually like see and enjoy and get engaged in. That's why I'm making the D&D video, that's why I'm making this video, but like it's also why I want to make a fantasy setting and do like an anthology of like novels or even just novellas about these characters so I can kind of like get their stories out there in a way that you guys can enjoy. Because I love these characters and I love telling stories and I want to tell their stories specifically because I love them so much. Because they're cutie patoots. Dang it. I love my Blorbo so much. I also like to joke that Felix dresses like every girl at Ren Fair. Loose shirt, big skirt, waist corset. Emery is the best. Oh, thank you. I do love Emery, but see, the thing about Emery and why I'm a little bit less gung-ho about putting her in one of these stories is because her story is out there already. Like, if people want to learn Emery's story, they can watch What's Left of Us, and it's all there. But with my characters like Verity and Zephyr and Lapis and Felix and all them, their stories only exist at the table, or for some of them, they only exist in my head because like Felix and Zephyr I've never actually gotten to play in a longer campaign. But I still love their stories and I love the ideas that I've come up with for them and I want to put them somewhere, but I don't have a good venue for it yet. which is why I've been working on doing world building for that, like, series of novellas or novels that I want to do. I want to write. I want to make these stories exist, and I want them to take less time than making a webcomic. I may do, like, short comics about them, about the characters and their stories, but they will not exist solely as comics, because I want to get a completed story out there without how much time it takes to do a webcomic. I love webcomics. It's not sustainable. I can't do this and cast off at the same time. It's too much. Much as I wish it was not true, it is. How would you go about releasing these novellas if you've thought about that yet? I'd probably just put them... I might, like, make a website for them. I might just have them be hosted on Patreon or something. I'm not sure. Where do people post, like, independent writings these days? I think Tapas has a system for that, where you can, like, upload novels there. So that might be one of the potential places I do it. It's not really something I've looked too deeply into recently. Or too deeply into yet. Just because it's still way far off. But... Wattpad? Wattpad kind of has the reputation of being a wee bit cringe, though, is the thing. Is the thing about that. But yeah, I'm not sure if these would be serialized either. They might be, but I think I'd be happier with them if I just released them all at once. I don't know. I'm still very much in the thinking about it phase. It's all just thinking. This is me thinking of things. Felix's skirt? Yeah, it's a gradient. Pink to red gradient. Because I'm dramatic like that. Pwisha! You can always publish them as books. I am thinking that depending on the final length of them, I might do like a limited run of physical books. I think that would be really nice. I would love to like do a physical book someday. I would love to make them like light novels, you know, where there's like illustrations or maybe even just like little comics kind of in the interim pages, but they're mostly told through written words. That's kind of the goal. I had so much print anxiety for several years because the very first time I tried to print my first webcomic, it came out really badly and it kind of traumatized me a little bit and made me very nervous about ever printing my work again. But now now that I've done it a few times, I feel a lot more confident in my ability to make a book that looks good. And I just really like being able to make my stuff into physical things. I like that a lot. Look at my baby! She's so cute! Speaking of books, cast-off update. Not too much to say just yet. The books are en route to me, but it's going to take a few more weeks. I'm not anticipating them arriving until probably late November. They're on a very slow boat over from China right now. It's going to be like 6 to 8 weeks for them to get to me. But I'm still on track to have them all shipped out by the end of the year. So, that's the update. More substantial updates will come as I have them on the actual campaign page. Yippee. Oh, yeah, so actually, this is a different update that I kept meaning to comment on stream, and then I just kept forgetting. The first prototype for the makeshift plushie, pictures of it got sent to me last week. So that's happening. I will not be posting pictures of it because they're still prototypes and there were several things that I requested that they fix for a second prototype. But if they do everything I requested for the second prototype, it should look much better. And then, you know, hopefully that will be happening. We'll have like a full campaign closer to the end of the year. Yippee! Do we know when cast off will end? Like, does it have a definitive amount of chapters? So, definitive amount of chapters, no, because I keep kind of adjusting when breaks in chapters happen. But the events in the story are pretty set at this point. I say that, like, they're not set in stone, but they're set in wood. It's like they could still be, you know, knocked down, adjusted, changed if I decide it's like, oh, I kind of don't like this, I kind of want to adjust this, which I have done several times. Like I said, chapter 12, as it exists right now, was not originally in the story. It was kind of a late addition because I figured that showing was better than telling for this specific type of story. So stuff like that could continue to happen as I work my way through the story. But in general, I'm planning for about 20-something chapters. We're a little over halfway done with the story at this point. I like to tell people that if Cast Off wasn't a 2-season anime, the end of chapter 10 with the fireworks and everything, that's like the season 1 finale, and so everything from here on is season 2. So you can kind of think of it like that. That's why they got new outfits. It's because it's season 2 now. It's season 2. They needed new outfits. Felix has some DIY embroidery on her little corset cincher. Because I think she would be a crafty girl. I think she would be a crafty girl. She would enjoy embroidery and making things. Some yellow thread, do some little dots. We'll get some green and draw some leaves. Oh yeah, so I don't have an exact date planned, but fair warning, sometime next week, probably, maybe Monday. Silent Hill 2 stream? Potentially Monday, but maybe a different day. I need to, like, actually look at my calendar, but because the game did get funded off my Throne wishlist, I will be playing that on stream. And I would like to start that ideally before Halloween. So maybe Monday, maybe Wednesday, I need to look at my calendar. But that will be happening. The return of the game streams. Yes! Game streams. The people have been asking politely for them for a while, and I haven't felt especially motivated. But because that did get funded on my Throne page, we will be playing that on stream. So, yippee! Star screaming montage. Oh, see, here's the thing. Here's one of the so if you want to watch someone be genuinely afraid of what is going on in the game, you probably will not. I'm not very susceptible to spookies. I enjoy a spooky. I'm not easily scared by a spooky. Star yells at demons. I do yell at demons. Whenever we play a scary game, I just scream obscenities at the monsters. Yeah, Jack Douglas. If you guys haven't seen that clip, could one of my mods potentially post a link to the Jack Douglas clip so that people can get an idea of what I'm going on about? There is a rather infamous clip of me and the buds playing Phasmophobia. And it does include me telling a ghost that I will have intercourse with his mother. So, you know, that's a thing. Silent Hill 2 is more of a sad game than a scary game, especially the original one. Yeah, we're gonna see how the remake plays, but we'll see. I have heard very good things about it. I know that a lot of people were worried just based on, like, the company that was outsourced to make the remake. But it seems to be I have heard good things about it, which is nice. So yeah. I don't get scared from video games. I will be yelling at the ghoulies and the ghosties. I have watched a few folks, because I usually, for horror games, because they don't affect me very much and I'm generally not interested in playing them myself, I do watch a lot of playthroughs of of horror games. And so I've watched, like, I have a friend who's been playing it, who's been streaming it, and then I've also been watching the Super Eye Patch Wolf playthroughs of it. And so I know a decent amount about, like, the opening hours of the game, but I've been trying not to watch too much further, because I don't want to get spoiled. Like, I know the big spoiler about that game, just from, you know, you're on the internet long enough, you will eventually hear about the twist in Silent Hill 2 and what it is. I will not repeat it. For those who wish to remain unspoiled, but, you know, there is a twist at the end, supposedly, and I do know that twist, but I don't know a lot of the little stuff that happens, and so that's really what I'm excited to experience, is, like, how the little stuff happens. I'm more interested in the journey and rather than the destination, and I think that's a good way to go into it. Now, actually, I don't think that's what Felix's eye color is. I believe that when I've drawn her in the past, I gave her, like, very light pink eyes. Yeah, like that. Light pink. She looks, like, a little unsettling. By design. Like, still cute. But there's, like, a little bit of to her. Because, you see, Felix, my baby girl, she is a Feywild girly. And so she's got just that little twinge of something ain't right with her. But she's very cute. And I love her dearly. Star bullies harmless demon. There's the link. There is the link in chat if folks want to go watch it. So here, you want to see a preview of what a Silent Hill 2 stream will look like for me? Go ahead and watch that clip in the pinned comment. Cause that'll be a good icebreaker for what to expect. This is what we're coming in with. Bullying the demons. That's how I do. You little spookies can't get me. I'm going to say rude things to you until you leave me alone. What's that? You represent my inner turmoil and sadness? Well, get wrecked, bitch. That's the vibe that I will be bringing to these streams. Apologies in advance. I might be sad about my wife, but I'm about to make you sad about your life! Bam! Beats you with a stick. Felix has little gold freckles, and she does paint her horns gold, and then use the leftover paint to give herself freckles. So, there's a fun fact about mine baby girl for all of you. She's baby. And now we make all those pretty colors go away so that we can shade. Yippee! You got a raid right in the middle. Yeah. That was like the best timed raid that I ever got on on Twitch. Just like, yeah, I'm gonna tell this demon that I'm gonna fuck his mom, and now there's like 30 more people watching me. Oops, welcome to that first impression. Oops. Oopsie doodles, as the teens say. No teen has ever said this. Listen, the bullying of the demon was for a good cause. We were trying to get an achievement, and... Listen. I never leave home without bullying demons. Same, honestly. I mean, I've told this story before. I used to get sleep paralysis and night terrors. I don't anymore. I literally cured my sleep paralysis by telling my sleep paralysis demon to fuck off. And I feel like that tells you a lot about who I am as a person. I feel like that really does say a lot about me. That's like a defining moment in my life, honestly. It tells you a lot. It's like, yeah, I used to have sleep paralysis. I used to have night terrors. I literally don't anymore because I told my sleep paralysis demon to fuck off and it never came back. Never came back. I've never had night terrors ever since then, and I'm not kidding. Genuinely, I think one of the funniest things that's ever happened to me is the fact that, yeah, apparently the cure for night terrors is just telling the demons to fuck off. Try it sometimes, it works. But yeah, I do think that, like, the reason I got night terrors while I was there was probably a combination of, like, culture shock and loneliness and stress of a new job in a place where you don't really speak the language. Because that happened, like, I believe the first winter I was living in Japan is when that happened. And that was kind of when I was going through the worst of my culture shock. And there's a lot that I could say about my mental state at that time. I was going through it because, like, I was having a nice time, and I'm genuinely not a very lonely person. But that second half of the first year I was in Japan was genuinely the loneliest I'd ever been. Because I didn't really have any friends that first year I lived there. I had a couple of, like, casual acquaintances. I had, like, you know, other jet program people that I could talk to occasionally. But nobody that I felt, like, really close to. And even for an introvert like me, like, I'm a chronic introvert. I'm such a hermit. But even that was, like, that was really hard even for me. And especially because it's like, I couldn't really talk to a lot of my friends because of the time zone difference. Most of them were asleep. I had, like, one friend who worked the night shift, and I was able to talk to him a whole lot, thankfully. But if I didn't have him, I probably would have had some kind of mental breakdown. That second year, once a batch of newbies came in, I was able to make some friends, thankfully. But I've never been especially good at making friends is the thing. Pretty much all the friends I have as an adult are friends that I made because an extrovert adopted me and then just introduced me to all of their friends. I know it might be hard to believe if you only ever know me as a person on the internet and you see, like, my YouTube persona or my internet persona. I am a very shy person, honestly. And it's just like, huh. You made a good couple with me and the others. Yeah, Jay, do you remember how we became friends? As you busted down my metaphorical door and said, we are friends now. And even then, we didn't get, like, really buddy-buddy for, like, 6 months. And that was because we had to talk to each other for a reasonable amount of time every month to talk about D&D stuff. But I'm so shy. You are the one who actually, like, sent the email. I would never have done. You're more powerful than me just by that alone. You know, like, I really genuinely wish this was not the case, but I am a very shy person. It's like, I'm good at putting on airs, but my thing is, like, I'm not good at making friends and holding on to them, you know? It's like, I'll meet someone and I'll have a really nice conversation with them, but then when it comes to the follow-through of actually, like, keeping friends, I'm very bad at that. That's honestly the hardest part for me. It's like, I feel like I have a lot of acquaintances, but it's very hard for me to make, like, friends because that step up is so difficult for whatever reason. And it's hard for me to, like, make connections and talk to people. It's that very introverted side of me that comes out and is very hard to shoo away. And I do acknowledge that it's something I really do need to get better at. I've been taking baby steps. I've been trying to, like, reply to people's stuff on social media more frequently, but even then, it's just like, scary, scary. What if they hate me, actually? What if they actually hate me and they just don't want to start the shit, and so they're not gonna tell me, but they actually do hate me, and they don't actually think I'm, like, nice or cool or anything, and if I'm bothering them, and what do I do? I have that kind of anxiety. It's dumb. I acknowledge that it's dumb, but it still happens. Social anxiety. Yeah, I feel like it's weird because I feel like whenever someone says is like, oh, you have anxiety, and I'm like, I don't know if I have like actual clinical anxiety, and then I spend 30 minutes trying to work myself up to talk to somebody I've known for 10 years because I'm worried that I'm gonna bother them. And then I'm like, oh, maybe I do actually. Like, there's no reason for these feelings to be here. Huh. I'm doing my best, but it's hard. It's hard, you know? I'm still here after a year of less gaming streams when I came here for a Zelda stream. I'm modding for you. I think you're stuck with me now. Yeah, well. You were endearing and wriggled your way in. Honestly, I have a good rapport with people who kind of like I said, the extroverts who would just adopt me. I'm like, I will so easily go along with just like extroverts who are like, hey, by the way, we're friends now. I'm gonna message you all the time. And it's like, it doesn't work 100% of the times because like, sometimes the vibe's just off. But in general, most of the friends I have made have just been like, oh, hello, extrovert, hi. We're friends now. That's how I made friends in college because Sarah did that to me. The people who are willing to like take on the load of like the actual starting of a friendship is the type of person that I generally have luck with. Because for me, like, that's the most hard part is starting a friendship. Like, once I meet somebody and I'm able to, like, have a little bit of time and we get comfortable with each other, then that's easier. But it's that initial step that's hard, you know? What's hilarious is I'm also an introvert. I volunteer because I'm literally here all the time. I like the vibe. Yeah, and I mean, that's generally how I picked my mods in the first place, was just, like, people who are already here. And so, like, asking, hey, come to my streams, but also can you mod? You're there all the time anyway. I mean, that's how I picked my Discord mods. It's like, hey, who's already here all the time and has good enough vibes that I'm willing to trust you with my community? That's literally how I picked my moderators for my Discord and also my streams. Is I find people who are already here, who very obviously already like me enough to, like, spend several hours a week listening to me yap. It's like, hey, you're already here. Do you want a mod roll so that you can help make the experience more comfortable? And, like, help me keep an eye on stuff because I can't have eyes on everything all the time. I feel like my mods are more active in my Discord than I am. Especially in the last couple of years, I've kind of taken a step back from my own Discord. Just because it has gotten a little bit overwhelming. But yeah. I have had people, like, come into my community and immediately ask, hey, can I mod? And generally the answer is no, because, like, why would I give you power in my community? I don't know you. I don't know you. Like, who the heck are you? Why would I give you a mod roll? I don't even know who you are. Thanos, I don't even know who you are, .gif. But yeah, it's like, you know, if somebody is here and I like the vibe and they like my vibe and they are willing to put in a little bit of time to just, like, help keep the community safe, then that is my ideal moderator, you know? That's how I found out my people. Why would anyone want a mod? You'd be surprised. I've had people in the past come into my streams, like, you see the subscriber notification go off, and then they immediately ask, hey, can I be a mod? It's like, no, I don't know you. I don't know who you are. I'm not going to give you, like, I'm not going to give you power in my community. I don't even know who you are. And then there's actually been a few times, I will not go into too much detail, but there have been a few times where I felt like I kind of dodged a bullet in regards to not giving someone moderator permissions. I feel like I'm fairly good at reading people. I'm not an expert. I'm not like a psychologist. I'm not like psychoanalyzing every single person. But I feel like I am at least semi-decent at reading vibes off of people. And let me tell you guys, it has saved my butt in the past. They call me Star Professional Bullet Dodger Extraordinaire. Because there were some people back in the day when I streamed on Twitch, I did have a couple of people who were like very frequently, like once per stream almost, like very much hinting that they wanted to be a moderator. But I just got a weird vibe off of them, and so it's like I would just kind of like brush it off every time it came up. And then some stuff ended up happening with them, and I'm like, well, I'm very glad I never gave you mod privileges, because that would have been very difficult to deal with. And that is about all the detail I will go into. Just call me Star Professional Bullet Dodger. Failed the vibe check, basically. It's like, I couldn't even put a finger on why. I could if I really sat and thought about it now in hindsight. But in the moment, I couldn't really think, it's like, why does this person give me kind of a weird vibe? It's like, I don't know if I trust, it's like they're not doing anything actively hostile, but for some reason, I'm picking up a weird vibe off of them. And I'm just gonna, whenever they ask to be a moderator indirectly, I'm just gonna brush it off and change the subject. And then like months and months later, I was like, oh, yup, that was the right decision. Whee! Dodged that bullet, let me tell you. Oh boy. Rolled a nat 1 on vibes, basically. I think the mods know who I'm talking about, because they were there when this happened. But yeah. Knowing how to read people is a very valuable skill. And I'm not gonna say that I'm like an expert at it. I do feel like I misread people sometimes. But it's just sometimes you just pick up on vibes from people. Hard to explain. But it is very vindicating when you feel like you pick up vibes from somebody and you can't quite put a finger on why, and then they end up proving you right later. And you're just like, ah. Yep. Hey, yep. So satisfying just watching Starshaden talk. I am glad you think so. I do my best. But yeah, there's a very specific reason that I usually just do the brainless stuff on stream. Like inking and shading. And that's because I can just kind of turn my brain off and not really pay that much attention to what I'm doing in the drawing. And I can just focus on yapping. It is a skill that took multiple years to really get into a groove of. But now I can do it fairly confidently, and then I'm providing an experience for people, and it's nice. Welcome to the Yap Club. Some people have a yacht club, I've got a Yap Club. Can't afford a yacht, but y'all can listen to me talk. I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. I'll let y'all know if it ever works once. Yeah, I mean, I in general try to give people a lot of leeway, but sometimes you just... sometimes you're just like, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, but I'm not going to give you the benefit of trust until I get a better idea of the kind of person you are, you know? I feel like you can give someone the benefit of the doubt, but still keep them at arm's length, you know? Just like, I want to trust you, but I feel like I gotta vibe check you a little harder first. Is like, people can surprise you, and it is hard to deal with. While I was visiting my friends in Oregon this past weekend, there was some ongoing drama with a different friend circle that I'm not involved in. One of my friends has her own circle of friends back in the town that she lives in, and she was telling us all about the drama that was happening that she kept getting texts about. And she was like, oh man, yeah, so this person and this person are like married, but then this person said this thing, and then this other person said this thing, and like, it's like, oh man, who did I even marry? It's like, why are you acting like this all suddenly? Have you always been like this? And you just manipulated me and I didn't notice? And it was just like, and we were getting we were getting live updates on all this drama about these people we did not know, like the entire weekend, and I was just like, this is why I'm scared of dating. This is one of several reasons. I am so terrified of, like, letting somebody in and then having my trust violated in, like, those kind of ways. Ah! Ah, scary, scary, scary. It's like, on the one hand, I like hearing... It's, you know, sometimes it's fun to hear about drama that does not involve you. Because it's like, you're enjoying a story, right? But then on the other hand, it's like, oh, these are actual people, and that really sucks. Ugh. And then you're like, oh, that could happen to me. And then you think about it too hard, and you get nervous, and you delete the dating apps off your phone. No, I don't know from experience. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? This is not something that's happened to me multiple times. What do you mean? Ah! Anyway, so how about Goku? Oh, man. Not beating the anxiety allegations. I think that is a perfectly reasonable thing to be anxious about, though, is the thing. I think that is a perfectly reasonable thing to be anxious about. Just in general. Because wowie gee willikers. People can be terrible sometimes. Yeah, thoughts on Goku? I think that Goku... I want to know what the budget looks like for the hair gel. Your anxiety is strong, let me fight it. Yeah, you know what? If Goku wants to enter my brain, Magic School Bus style, and fight my anxiety for me, I would just let him. He seems trustworthy. Goku passes the vibe check. How do we round back to Goku? Because this is what always happens. We've just made it a trend that whenever we need to change the subject abruptly, we just start talking about Goku. And it's funny because I have no emotional attachment to Dragon Ball in any kind of way. It's just that at one point in the past, someone asked me thoughts on Goku completely non sequitur, and it made me laugh really hard. So now whenever we need to skedaddle away from a conversation, we just start talking about Goku. I would love for that to be a common thing with other streamers. I want to introduce that to other streamers. Like, if you ever need a segue away from a conversation, just start talking about Goku. It's very funny. Do you like Gojo? I have some spicy takes about Jujutsu Kaisen. I will say, for the people that like it, I'm glad for them. And I look at the people who are crazy about Gojo, and I do get it. He is pretty. I fucking hate that anime, though. I'm sorry. All right. I can't do it. That anime is one of the few... I tried watching Jujutsu Kaisen. I saw all the hype it was getting, and I really genuinely tried to give it a good shake. And it pissed me off so bad that I never wanted to touch it again. It pissed me off so much, I dropped it like a hot potato, and I'm never going back. I'm glad for people who like it. I'm glad that you can enjoy it. It performed cardinal, unforgivable sins in my eyes in the first season, and I can't do it. I can't do it. Shonen anime seems to be a hard sell. For me, in general, yeah. There's very few shonen that I enjoy, and it's not necessarily because of the genre, it's just not the type of stuff I usually like. And I mean it, like I said, it's not for lack of trying. I genuinely did. I never watch a show that I think I'm going to dislike, because I don't have enough time on this earth to hate watch things. If I don't like a show, I just don't watch it. I'm glad for people who enjoy it, because in general, I like enjoying things. I would much rather enjoy something and have it and like it than hate something. But shonen anime in general is a very hard sell for me, because most shonen anime I have seen I did not like. And it's not for like one specific reason that encapsulates all of them. It's generally a different reason for each show. A lot of it is just like a lack of emotional depth that kind of gets to me. And that's one that a lot of shonen anime struggles with. That was a big one for me with Jujutsu Kaisen. That's why I didn't watch it. Because, okay, Jujutsu Kaisen spends like the first half of the first season of its anime with the main character being presumed dead by most of the other characters in the plot. He's not, he's fine, but a lot of people think that he's dead and are having various emotions about it. And it baits you so hard with like this emotional comeback that at some point in the future, very soon, hopefully, the characters will find out that he's not actually dead, and there will be some kind of emotional payoff to this subplot where everyone has thought he was dead for such a long time. And I sat through that show, and I was waiting for that emotional peak. I was waiting for that, like, emotional reunion where the character, he reveals himself, and the characters realize he's not dead, and then everybody gets emotional about it. And when you actually get that comeback, like, 10 episodes later, it is brushed off without, like, any fanfare. And it's like, oh, hey, main character's name that I forgot. I guess you're still alive. That's cool. Anyway, about the school festival, I literally turned off the show in the middle of an episode. It pissed me off so badly, I literally turned the show off in the middle of the episode. Like, once they started, like, going back, it's like, okay, well, our friend who we thought was dead is actually still alive. So anyway, the school festival, though. I was so mad. Because not only did they kill off the first character I really got attached to, like the episode before that, they then went and pulled that shit, and I was just like, nah, drop the remote control, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I dropped the remote, I turned off the show, and I went to go do something else. I was so pissed off. So angry. And like, that's what I feel like I said, this is not a general complaint for all shonen anime, but I feel like shonen anime, a lot of the ones that I have watched and not like, I have not liked them because of the shallowness of the emotions. And that's like a big thing that gets to me, is like, I want to see characters going through shit and feeling shit about it. And if you cannot supply me with that, I'm probably not going to enjoy your piece of media. Because that is what I watch shows for, you know? They literally thought Son Goku'd you? I know, right? Ugh. They were just like, anyway, abrupt subject change with no emotional closure to that thing that we've been dangling over the plot for like half of the first season. Ugh. I love Jujutsu Kaisen, but yeah, my major criticism is I feel like it doesn't make you care about the characters. The doomed yaoi is peak, though. I could write better doomed yaoi, because I will make you care. Hot take. Cast Off Chapter 12 is better doomed yaoi than anything Jujutsu Kaisen has to offer. And that's a bold claim. I did in one chapter what Jujutsu Kaisen could not do in however many chapters it had. Have I I watched most of Jujutsu Kaisen? No. But I am willing to throw that towel into the ring. Or I'm willing to throw that bet into the ring. You want Doomed Yaoi? Read chapter 12 of Cast Off. I did that shit better in one chapter. Read my fucking webcomic. Considering our discussion last stream on whatever about Nico and Sage. Exactly! Doomed Yaoi! I did that, and it made several people cry. According to my comment section. God, can you imagine if I actually posted that on social media? The Jujutsu Kaisen fans would come for my ass. But you know what, actually? Maybe that wouldn't be too bad, because then I could be like, okay, you guys want to see some real fucking Doomed Yaoi? You like this shit, and you want to see some real fucking Doomed Yaoi, some good shit? Chapter 12 of Cast Off works by itself in isolation. Go read that. And I'm willing to bet that I can make you more emotional with these sad boys in one chapter. Less than 50 pages. I bet I can make you care more about these characters than Jujutsu Kaisen could do in, like, however many manga volumes it has been. Throwdown! You'd get slaughtered? Nah, I'd get some new readers for my webcomic. Joke's on them. I'd bet they get invested and keep reading it. Haha! I'm not actually going to do this because I try in general not to start fights on the internet over silly things like opinions on anime series. But God, if I had like an undo button on the universe, I would try that just to see what would happen. Because I'm just like so curious, you know? Marketing strategy drama. I mean, listen, it works for a lot of YouTubers. Not me, though. I very patently, like, avoid drama like the plague. I avoid drama like the plague. Because I do not want to be seen as the type of person who incites drama for page views. I cannot do that. I will not do that. You cannot make me. Get that shit out of here. Blue Sky tends to be tamer than Twitter, so you could get away with it there. Could, but... I'm scared. I don't want to incite the wrath of anime fans. My worst nightmare is ending up in some, like, fucking commentary YouTubers, like, video where they're, like, just talking about me and being like, oh, this anime girl on the internet said some shit and now everybody's pissed off at her. Here's the Starfish Face situation. Here's an update on that drama. An update on the Starfish Face drama. Ugh, sends chills down my spine. Do not want that. Actively avoid doing anything that would put myself into that kind of situation. And I'm not kidding. As an anime fan, I'm not one of those people, please roast my beloved shows. I mean, like, I try not to be a roaster either. Like, even the shows that I have criticisms about, I try not to be, like, a roast person. I try to, you know, like, make genuine critiques in my videos. Streams are kind of anything goes, but you get what I mean. You get what I mean. Streams are kind of anything goes because I'm just kind of off the cuff here, but when I'm making a video, but engagement though, I cannot express to you how much I do not care. Words cannot describe how much I do not care and would rather have, you know, different engagement. That is not the type of engagement that I want to farm. I have no goals of being a full-time YouTuber. It's not really my gig. And therefore, I will actively avoid doing anything that's going to put like, my... What's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to be perceived as someone who farms bullshit for drama. New drama from the Starfishface situation. This bitch hates Quetzalcoatlus. I do. That is true. I'm sorry, but why is he shaped like that? Why is he shaped like that? I'm a Quetzalcoatlus hater. Why does it have people feet? Why has it got people feet? Why is it shaped like that? Why is its head so big? It's a bad shape. Sorry, you can't just say that. What's Quetzalcoatlus gonna do? Try to cancel me? Oh, wait, he can't. He's dead. They're all dead. What are they gonna do? Cancel me? Put a hate campaign on social media? They're all dead. They can't do shit to me. I'm gonna live forever. What other stupid shit do people say on the internet? Buy my merch! You still talking about that extinct bird thing? Jay brought it up! Jay was the one who brought it up! I didn't start it, but I'll finish it. Except, I mean, I could finish it, but the meteor already did that for me, so, you know. The way you said Quetzalcoatlus should be a Quetzalcoatlus. Does this bother you? Does it bother you how I say the dinosaur's name? Does it bother you? I genuinely don't know how to pronounce its name. I'm doing my best. Hey, I'm walking here with my stupid people feet. What do you want? I genuinely just don't know how to pronounce it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me. I'm just a baby. I'll make an apology video with a ukulele if you guys will leave me alone. God. My thing is, my guilty pleasure is I do occasionally like to watch, like, YouTube drama videos. Just like, here's the breakdown on all the situation involving this YouTuber you don't care about, and I'm just like, oh boy, gets the popcorn. It's kind of my guilty pleasure because, again, drama that does not involve me or anybody I know, delicious. Drama that does involve me or someone that I know, nope. Nope. Drama's fun to watch, not to be part of. Exactly. Exactly. Just sometimes you like to see how fucked up people can really be. And the videos are nice because if you get too hopeless about the state of human beings, you could just turn the video off and pretend like it's fine now. You know? I also feel like, you know, a drama video that you're not involved in and involves people that you don't know, it's just like, it's kind of like a story. It's just like, spin me a yarn, read me a narrative about what the dinguses are doing in the YouTube comments now, in the private discords. Sometimes it's a little too real. Sometimes it's like, oh, we're talking about somebody who, like, groomed minors. That's a bit much. I don't know if I really want to hear about this excessively, but... But, you know, sometimes it's nice to just, like, get a little taste of the tea and then turn it off and go back about your life, you know? YouTubers and grooming minors. Name a more iconic duo. No, see, like, cause, like, it's so fucking easy to not do that. It's genuinely so easy to not. And it just baffles me. how often that shit happens. And I'm like, get your shit together. Seriously. It's so easy to not. Anyway. Speaking as a YouTuber, it's so easy to not be inappropriate with kids. Jiminy Christmas, get it together. That's my hot take of the stream. Get your shit together. Bap bap. It's what makes me mad as a mask person, because that's who does it the most, and it's so easy to not. Right? It's so easy to not be inappropriate with minors. Jesus! Jesus criminy! Yeesh! This is currently the Star Ran Tower. Yup! Just be normal. Exactly. How hard is it to just be normal? Jeez Louise. Anyway, look at my baby girl. She's so cute. Look at my baby girl Felix. She's baby. She's so cute and baby. And I love her very much. I have not played her in a longer D&D campaign, but I have played her through a chunk of Act 1 of Baldur's Gate 3. And one of these days I will get back to playing that game again, but for right now I'm a wee bit burnt out on it, so probably not anytime super soon. I love doing the blue, like, under highlights. I just feel like they add this richness to a piece. I think they look nice and pretty. And I like to do them. Like the reflected light. I chose to be a menace. Same though. Listen, I'm a menace in the fun way, not in the gross way. And that's my piece. That's my hot, spicy take. Blade color, choose color from layer. Boop. There. Gotta fixed it. Okay, and now we add some pretty highlights. Oh, that is the wrong layer. We add some pretty highlights on the correct layer this time. Overlay layers, my beloved. Fun parts about drawing a character who wears a lot of jewelry. gets to draw a lot of shiny highlights. A YouTuber told me that overlay layers are cheating. Is she crazy? Yes. Do whatever you want. It's art, not math. There's no such thing as cheating. Just do the dang thing. I can understand how some people might see them as a crutch, but honestly, I'm not out here trying to make a masterpiece. I am just trying to have fun and vibe and draw some cute little D&D characters, and I don't have the time or the energy to go through and individually color pick every single highlight. I ain't got time for that. I could if I wanted to, but I generally don't. Where is my... There we go. I want to do some highlights on the... Just the tedium of doing the little highlights on all the little parts of the skirt. This is why I gave Felix her own stream, because I knew that it was gonna take a bit. I knew that her art specifically would take longer than usual, because as much as I love her, she has a very complicated design. She's a very complex design. Yeah, I mean, look at her. Look at that skirt. Ah! The details, the details! Oh! The horror, the horror! Scary. Scary, scary. Oh man, so this is completely a non sequitur. It's just something I've been thinking about. As a YouTuber, there are other art YouTubers whose work I enjoy, and I would love to, like, do something with them. How does... I feel like this is a VTuber problem, too, where it's just like, how do you make friends? I'm not good at coming up with ideas for collaborations. It's just like, man, I'd love to do something with this person, and then a little voice in the back of my head goes, like what? And then I'm just like, I don't know. Please hold. It's like, I'm shy and I'm not good at coming up with ideas for like stuff to collaborate on. I just... I relate to that extremely. Yeah. This is why I don't do a lot of VTuber collaborations either. It's just like, I don't know what to do. I've gotten so used to just doing my own thing. I don't know what to do. But I'm not good at small talk either is the problem, so it's like, okay, step 1, 2, engage in friendship. Talk to them. About what? My general method is here. I'm gonna draw fan art for you. Engage friendship. Yay! And then usually that doesn't really work. And so it's like, shit. Shit. Oh, gosh. So this is my issue. Why doesn't Star do collaborations on her channel? 1, shy. 2, doesn't know how. End of PowerPoint. End of paragraph. Which is harder, making friends in real life or making friends on the internet? I would argue that they're both hard in different ways. Because, like, you know, if you're making friends in real life, like if you have classmates or coworkers or whatever, you know, you see them on a regular basis, presumably. And then I feel like it's easier to, you know, engage with that person, invite them to things, do stuff. But I feel like with internet friends, there's like this different threshold of the only time you really quote unquote see each other is when you have to work to get their attention. And that's the part that I'm real bad at. And I don't know how to do that. And so I scream. I scream and I just wait for people to come to me, and that usually doesn't work, and then I get sad. Professional. Yippee. Literally all of my YouTuber friends I met through playing Dungeons and Dragons, so clearly all I must do is just play D&D more. That will surely solve all of my problems, and I'll get to play more D&D. Yippee! You seem like you'd make a good friend, but you're popular, so that scares me. Man, I just... That is one of the downsides of being a quote-unquote big YouTuber. I've had, like, friends I've known for several years tell me that they're glad they met me through conventions, because if they met me any other way, if they got to know me through the internet first, they would have been too intimidated to talk to me. I have had, like, genuine, very good friends say that to me, and I'm just like, that kind of bums me out, man. That bums me out. But on the flip side, it can also be very funny. So here's a recent story. She might get mad at me for telling this story, but she doesn't watch these streams. So, I have, you know, like, members of my family that I don't really talk to super frequently. You know, I'll see them at, like, family gatherings once every couple of months, but that's about it. And usually our conversations do not dwell on the YouTuber stuff. It's like, they know that I do art, and they know kind of what I do for my job, but I have cousins who it's just like, it doesn't really come up when we hang out, and we just usually talk about, oh, hey, yeah, how's school going? Da-da-da-da-da. Well, one of my cousins, apparently, had a run-in with someone who knows of me through the internet, and got to have the conversation of, oh, that person, that artist you really like, that's my cousin. And then I got told this story, like, third-hand information, and it was very funny. Jared Saintwater, thank you for the 20 gifted memberships. Thank you. I appreciate it. He's at it again. As always, Jared coming in with a bag of chips and being like, here you go, everybody. If you got gifted a membership, make sure to say thank you. But yes, it was very funny. And so I heard that from my mom, who heard that from my grandma, who heard that from my cousin. And so it was like third-hand information. But apparently she has like, this cousin of mine has like very recently come to the realization, it's like, oh, Star's like kind of a big deal on the internet. That's cool. And she was asking my grandma, is like, do you have Star's number, like, so I could talk to her more? And it's so cute. It's so cute. It's like, my cousin thinks I'm cool and wants to hang out more. Yay! It's very funny and very cute. But I'm just like, oh man, people like out in the universe like know me. That's cool. Yeah, Jared brought enough chips for the whole class, baby. He's at it again with the chips. Yeah, so I think the point is that I think I have cemented my role as the cool cousin now. I'm the cool cousin now. And honestly, that's all I could have ever wanted. Like, my cousins think I'm cool? Hell yeah! Let's go! I already had cousins that thought I was cool. Different side of the family. Well, not different side, still maternal side of the family, but like a different group of cousins. One of them's pretty young, he's like 11. And I met him in person for the first time last year, about a year ago. And he came up to me, he's like, you know, it's an 11-year-old kid. I literally never met the kid because we live so far away. And he came up to me at this family gathering and was like, hey, are you the one who makes the YouTube videos? And I was like, yeah. So that was fun and interesting. I'm just like, hell yeah, I'm the cool cousin. Let's go. Let's friggin' go. Hell yeah. This is gratifying, and this is the best and most gratifying thing that's ever happened to me. Let's go. Yippee. That's where my priorities lie. Paying my bills with my YouTube money? Nah. Cousins think I'm cool? Most important part of it, TBH. Let's go. So that has been fun. Because I've never been the fun cousin before now. I was always just kind of like the weird, quiet cousin before now. I very much just like kind of keep to myself. And for a long time, I was just like, yeah, I'm just kind of quiet. I don't really do very well at big social gatherings. I'd prefer to just like sit in a corner and like have a casual conversation with the kids my own age. It's like family gatherings. But now it's like, oh yeah, Star's a YouTuber. She's cool. And then like my family also thinks that I'm cool. And I'm like, yeah. Hell yeah. I introverted my way to success. Let's go! You ever just introvert your way into a job? I kind of did that. I think sometimes about the path I took to get here. Here being this job that I have now. And how, like, weird and roundabout it was. Because, like, when I was in school, I wanted to get a studio job, and freelance was, like, the last thing I wanted to do. I dreaded having to do freelance. But studios would not hire me, and I could not get a studio job, and so eventually I was just kind of like, screw it, I'll do it myself. And now I would argue I'm pretty successful. And that's very cool and very, very gratifying. And I'm just like, yup. Girl boss too close to the sun. Here we go. And now I have, what do they get me? An art supply addiction, and so many Blorbos I have to pay child support for. And my cousins think I'm cool. So there. And me. Yes, Jay also thinks I'm cool. He also thinks I'm right about everything, as he should. I have several screenshots from our Discord DMs where he's like, Star, you were right. And I should always trust you because you're always right about everything. And I say, hell yeah, I am. What? No. Jay, do not make me break out the screenshots. Sir, do not make me bring out the screenshots. I have several. I have so many. I have many, many screenshots of Jay DMing me saying, I should just always listen to you because you are always right. And I would reply, yes, yes I am. Yes I am. Photoshop deepfake, you wish. You wish! If you were so embarrassed of it, then you shouldn't have said it in the first place, my dude. Ha 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 ha, etc. Oh, my computer froze for a second. That was a little scary. That was a little scary. Time to do my favorite little bloomy highlights. Yippee! Well, if you weren't right all the time, I wouldn't have my dude. Which one? There's several. Hee hee hee. Hee hee hee. Blackmailing the DM with fake screenshots, call them D&D faked. No! Not deep faked, hashtag super real, hashtag not clickbait, hashtag I'm always right and Jay should always listen to me because I'm always right and because I have the screenshots to prove it. She's an artist, we can't trust her. It's true. Artists are the most untrustworthy people in the world. We always do be posting our fake screenshots. But see, the thing is, I'm genuinely too busy to go around faking screenshots. So when I post that shit, you know it's real. Do I look like a person who has time to be posting deep fakes? Do I look like I have the time to be a person who goes on the internet and tell lies? I have more important things to do with my day. She can make her own planner stickers, people think about it. I think the DMs are the more untrustworthy ones. Yes, get his ass. Get his ass. He's the one who keeps charging into my DMs and saying vague, ominous things to make me scared and upset about my D&D Blorbos. And honestly, he should be punished for it. Chat, get his ass. This man just, like, loves to, in the middle of a conversation, a casual conversation about the little collaborative Blorbos we made together, be like, wow, sure is a shame that they're dead, though, and everyone's really sad about it. I'm like, hey, how about you shut the fuck up and never speak again? Wonder what Rodin's doing in Lapis' universe. See right there, he just did it! He just did it, chat! He literally just did it! This is what he does to me all the time. He just says vague, suspicious things to get me flustered and upset. He does this all the time, chat, and you guys think that I'm the untrustworthy one? Look at him! He literally did it caught in 4K! He walked right into that lobster trap all by himself! And he has the gall to accuse me of faking screenshots. Star, you do that to us too. Yeah, but when I do it, it's different. But when I do it, it's different, though. It's because I'm the most specialist girl in the world, and no one's allowed to be mad at me. This is also a running joke. Where, whenever I receive compliments from friends specifically who know that I'm joking when I say it, someone compliments me and I'll be like, I know! I am the coolest! Jay will be like, Star, you're so cool. And I'm like, I know, but thanks for saying it. Oh no, it's so comfy in this crab trap with my ominous knowledge of all the horrible things I've done to Star's blorbos. Listen, if you go too crazy with them, I can always just walk away and make them into my blorbos. I will get the blorbo rights in the divorce. I will get the blorbo rights in the divorce. You won't even get visitation. And I will put them in my own stories and make them my babies. I have the power. Don't test me. How's Larry doing? Larry is being so cool and normal. You would not even believe how cool and normal Larry is. I want to do more Larry draws because I like them so much. Look at this guy. Look at this fucking guy. I love Larry. Larry Normal Man. Larry Normal Man. He's so normal. Look at it. This face is my favorite. This one's my favorite. Here, actually, let me raise the opacity a little bit. This is my favorite Larry face. This is the mood, chat. This is the mood. Of all of these, this one's the mood. And also this one a little bit. They're kind of all a mood, but this one especially is the mood. I love Larry Normal Man. Again, I feel like I have to preface this every time I show Larry on stream. Larry is not actually their name. It's the very silly, like, placeholder name I gave them because their real name is spoilers. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about Larry. Larry is so normal and fine and cool. We love Larry in this house. I have done several Larry draws in my sketchbook that I just haven't posted online. And I cannot wait to show them. Larry's just fun. I love Larry. I hope Larry gets called Larry at least once in canon. I mean, they kind of have, but not really. Not really. The name Larry has come up in our D&D campaign, like canonically. But there was absolutely... The name Larry Normalman, but like an actual version of the name... I think we called him like Larry Bergman, was like a name on a grave. But Larry's not dead, is the thing. And so it was just like, what's this fake grave marked Larry doing here? I don't know. Who put that there? Who put that there? What a silly thing to see in this location. Wild. Anyway, back to our feelings. Our normal feelings that are not compromised in any kind of way by the happenings of the current situation. We are having a normal one. We're D&D characters, they said. It was weird that they said that out loud, but it was true. Anyway, I think I'm just about done with Felix here. Very close to done. Look at my little pink baby. She's a little pink baby girl and she's so cute. She's so cute and pink. Cute and pink baby girl. My little Felix. Look at her. I love her. She's baby. Got a little heart on her tail. She's baby. She needs some sparkles though. She needs some sparkles. Where's my sparkle brush? ¿Dónde está sparkle brush? Sparkle brush doko. Where is it? Where is that? Oh my god, I have too many friggin' brushes. There's my Dorito brush. Oh, it was right there. I'm very smart. Very smart and right about everything. Anyway, sparkle brush! Yippee! Yippee! Look at precious Felix baby. Baby alert. Dorito brush. Yeah, I have a brush that I call my Dorito brush. It's just triangles. It's just triangles. I use it as, like, background detail sometimes. But I call it the Dorito brush. Alright. So, it's just about time for me to wrap up. I'm tired. I want to go eat dinner. Thank you guys for joining me. That will be the last stream of this week. We will be streaming next week. I don't know exactly what we're going to be doing or on what day. I'll figure it out this weekend, and I will post the stream schedule on my stream tab when I have it, and also in my Discord when I have it. But yes. Yes, we are going to be doing What's Left of Us this Friday. So, if you guys want to come and watch our D&D show, What Is Left of Us, that will be happening on Friday. There is a pinned comment that will tell you all the details. You guys should go and check that out. But yes, for now, I will bid you farewell, and I'm going to go now eat breakfast tacos for dinner. Yippee! See you guys later, chat. Bye!